Hello and welcome back to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. My name is Thomas, joined on the channel again today by Terry McAllister to review the brand new home kit for the 2021-22 season. We've been waiting for this kit for quite a while. The away kit came out in May, very successful release. I think, most fans were a massive fan. And Terry, I think this might cause some slightly more contrasting opinions than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, the one last season was very, very classic looking, wasn't it? Very, I don't want to say safe because that sounds negative, but it was very, straight down the middle, blue with white, no funky designs, so on and so forth. Whereas this one's got a little bit more outside the box now, relatively outside the box, because how out there can you be with the home kit? Because it's blue and white and that's it. But it's not just blue and white. This one, it's blue, white, and yellow. Returning yellow. Got the got a little gradient sort. Well, it's not gradients actually. It's like a zigzag sparkling pattern. Is it?
It is, and I will read out the press release for you right now. The use of the Dazzle Pattern, which is apparently what is on the kit, is inspired by the role the city of Liverpool and its docks in painting naval ships during the First World War. Apparently, with this pattern, it was the brainchild of a British marine artist, and the use of contrasting shapes, tones, and colours proved highly effective at disguising a vessel's size, speed, distance, and direction, confusing the enemy at sea. So we know Hummel have, while they've been making their kits, they have tried to make the nod to the city, and in a couple of ways. We know that obviously they made the Black Watch kit, in reference to the kit, years and years ago. But this one has obviously got the zigzag pattern, the lighter blue and the darker blue, yellow around the collar and around the sleeves as well. Terry, we were just talking about it just then. And as you just mentioned, I don't think last year's kit was Hummel enough. I think they are a brand that likes to experiment. We've seen them come out with some interesting kits before. Last year, it was very smart. I was a big fan of the kit, but it was a bit plain, I think, when it comes to Hummel. I think this was maybe to be expected this year. A bit more adventurous, as you mentioned. A bit more outside the box. James Rodriguez, Seamus Coleman, and Richarlison featuring in the video displaying the kit, so make of that what you will. I don't know how much you can really take from that. Obviously, we saw Rooney do it a couple of years ago, and he was straight out in that summer. But a couple more details just before we get into talking about the kit. It's the first time you're going to be able to buy the women's kit with a Megaphone sponsor as well, which is pretty interesting. The crests are embroidered. Obviously, there was a lot of talk last year about the crest peeling off, but these ones are embroidered as well, which is good to see. And that's basically it. Apparently, the keeper kit has a very, very similar design. So, Terry, what are your thoughts on the kit?
It's good. I mean, it doesn't top last year's for me. That's not a criticism, but last year's home kit was one of my favourites ever, possibly my favourites ever. This year's kit, it surprised me because I typically don't like yellow on the kits, because I was happy when the yellow came off the badge for a start. The new badge, obviously, or the most current badge, hasn't got any yellow on it, whereas the one before did have like a yellow outline. And I typically don't like yellow, but I think it works on this kit. So I'm pleased with the sleeves, pleased with the collar, the little yellow detail with the white. Obviously, the Hummel chevrons. I like the Hummel chevrons. I like having that, leaving a little bit of personality on the kit. I think it is a V-neck, isn't it? Very like shallow V, very, very shallow V, or is it just a picture?
No, I think it is very shallow. It kind of cuts off, doesn't it? I'm a pretty big fan. In terms of the worst kits we've ever had, it's not the worst. I'm unlike you, Terry. I'm more of a fan of the yellow on kind of the collar and the sleeves. We mentioned that just before the video. I said, like, in terms of the home kits that we've had in the past few years, I don't think it's really up there with some of the best ones, because we've had a few years with quite decent kits. But I'm a fan of the yellow. I'm a fan of the neck. There's nothing on the back of the shirt. We saw last year there was detailing on the back of all the kits, but there is nothing on the back of this one. So it is interesting to see. I think it will cause some contrasting opinions, purely because I think maybe it looks a bit messier than kits we've had in the past. Of course, that design, it's used deliberately, but because of the lines going different directions, there's lighter blue, there's darker blue, I'm sure it will cause some contrasting opinions. The usual Eco 8 technology that they use makes it more environmentally friendly. White chevrons on the shoulders. Other than that, have you got any more thoughts on the kit?
Well, the pattern, I'm not the biggest fan of the pattern. I think if the kit didn't have the pattern, it'd be a lot better for me. It just sounds so negative. It sounds like I don't like it. I do like the kit. And I think when the players are wearing it on the pitch, it'll look better than it does just as like a dry, thing on a hanger. But patterns, I think, are very hard to get right on kits. If you look at from Hummel, the Denmark kit from the Euros, I like that pattern they've got, like that sort of, soft. I don't want to say embossed, but it's like there's different tones of red. If they did that pattern on our home kit in blue, I think that would have been perfect. But that sort of takes it down for me from being like an 8 out of 10 kit to being a 6.5. Don't dislike the kit, think it's nice. I usually dread, pre-Hummel, I always dreaded kits from Umbro because they were just so poor. And, every year, 1 in 5 years, you get like a good kit and that'd be it. Whereas Hummel, I've gone from a 10 out of 10, in my opinion, down to a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. So still, getting good marks. Hummel, I'm still happy with Hummel. But this one, it was never going to top last year's for me, and this one hasn't. But it's surprised me in the sense of there's some details I don't usually like, which they've turned me around on a little bit. I think the yellow on it is tastefully done. I'm just not the biggest fan of the pattern.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you're saying. I don't think no matter what they released this year, it was going to top last year's home kit, which was absolutely brilliant. And Hummel have been, very good so far. Both the away kits, I've been a massive fan of. This year's home kit, I don't think it's the worst thing we've ever seen. It's obviously not as good as last year's, but in terms of the home keeper kit, it's going to feature the same pattern, but with black, blue, and yellow stripes, black shorts, and black socks. So I don't know what you make of that. If you can kind of, because we haven't actually, at the time of recording, we haven't seen a picture of the keeper kit yet, but that will be black, blue, and yellow. How do you envisage that working out?
Ooh, can't even imagine. I imagine it's just predominantly black with very small blue and yellow details, like not dissimilar to the black and gold this year, but mix it up a little bit on the detail. But yeah, the goalkeeper kits are a little bit more, a little bit more tap-ins, aren't they? Like goalkeeper kits, you can be as funky or as jazzy as you like, and no one minds. People seem to have myself included, people seem to have like very exacting standards and like parameters that they want kits to be in. But when it comes to goalkeeper kits, most people don't care. They just go, "Oh, do what you want with the goalkeeper, but you've got to get the home kit right," and so on. But yeah, I think the goalkeeper will be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. In terms of, apparently as well, they've mentioned after they've responded to the fans on the crest as well, they've also responded coming out with a double XL youth kit. So that was clearly something that was noted by fans.
Yeah.
It's good to see them, listening to fans as well. That's something we never really had with Umbro.
Yeah, with the design, it's just little nitpicky things that are personal preference. Someone could look at that kit and think that's miles better than last season's. That's just opinion. But one thing that isn't an opinion is just, a hard fact is Hummel have been brilliant on the customer service side of things. The interaction they've had with fans and listening to the feedback and, correcting things, the embroidered badge, the larger kids kits, credit to Hummel, they've been by far better than Umbro, and being one of our best kit manufacturers for many a year. I hope we stay with them for a long time because I love Hummel.
Yeah, I completely agree. People, were apprehensive because it wasn't one of the big names when they came in, but I'd much prefer a name that's going to listen to the fans, that that's going to provide quality kits. As we mentioned with the badges last year, there was some concern. They've already fixed that. We saw that on the away kit as well. So in terms of Hummel as a company, they've been absolutely brilliant. As you mentioned, you can like and not like kits, but there's no argument against Hummel in terms of how brilliant they have been with the club, which is it's exciting to see because we've had a few years of poor interaction with the fans in terms of the kit. As we mentioned just before, the last year of Umbro, when they came out with that design that they tried to flag as the Archibald Leach, which we all know was just not true. It was clearly just the Umbro logo. But now we're getting bespoke kits. We're getting kits made for us. Not like, even go back to the Nike days. Remember, every keeper had that green kit with the circles going outwards. They were everywhere. So at least with Hummel, you're getting a kit that's specific to the club. It's made for the club, and clearly they are trying to make a nod to the city's history. And well, that pretty much brings me to the end of my thoughts. Have you got any thoughts you want to add just before the end?
No. Solid kits. Hummel going a little bit more outside the box. I'm just impossible to please because I loved that kit last year so much. So I'm not the one to listen to, I'm afraid. But yeah, I've seen some Everton disasters on kits, and this certainly isn't one of them. It's a good kit.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And if you do want to get the kit on pre-order, check out the link in the comments and in the description. If you go through that link, it does help us out as a channel. We really would appreciate it. And it will be made to buy online and in store on Thursday, the 15th of July. So just next week. So overall, I think it's a decent kit. Not as good as last year's, but in terms of Hummel as a company, again, doing very well, responding to the fans' comments. And I'm a pretty big fan all in all. I think it'll be interesting by the time we see the keeper kit. Obviously, that'll be out when this video comes out, how that's going to work. But as you mentioned, not too important, the keeper kit. They can kind of do whatever they like with it. So definitely let us know your thoughts in the comments below about, on the kit. Do you like the yellow being added back to the kit? Do you like the design? Let us all of your thoughts. And as I mentioned, if you do want to pre-order it, check out the link. So thank you very much for watching and join us next time on the Toffee Blues.